Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. We are taking a look today at the Scotia North Division matchup between the Winnipeg Jets and the Edmonton Oilers. Two really solid teams in the North Division and definitely in different spots going into the postseason. But we'll be taking a look at all of that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. So let's take a look at this matchup between these two Canadian franchises. So we are looking at the Winnipeg Jets, who going into this season had a lot of expectations. They were expecting to be back in the postseason and a team that could go on a real run, especially with Connor Mcdavid in between the pipes in a shortened season. He steals the show. The Winnipeg Jets likely make the postseason. And that's kind of how things worked out. But maybe not the way we were expecting. The Winnipeg Jets have really fallen off for the last 15 to 20 games. And they are lucky to have made the postseason. They really struggled down the stretch. And I don't know how they really look going into this year's postseason. They look like a totally different team from the team we saw in February and March. They just look totally different and not for the good reasons. I don't know what happened. They brought in Pierre-Luc Dubois from the Columbus Blue Jackets, traded out Laine. That seems to be working, but there seems to be other factors going on in Winnipeg, and I think a lot of it has to do with the blue line. On the other side, for the Edmonton Oilers, you're looking at a team that really, for the most part, was known for their top two guys, Leon Draisaitl and Connor Mcdavid, who, not to mention, also lead the NHL in points. So if the Winnipeg Jets were looking for an easy playoff matchup, they're not going to get that in this series. You have the two best players in the NHL right now, in Leon Draisaitl and Connor Mcdavid. Mcdavid pulling off a 100-plus point season. Leon Draisaitl picking up 500 career points. These are not two guys to mess around with. So this will not be an easy matchup for the Jets. The Edmonton Oilers were a team kind of like the Winnipeg Jets in the regard, but they never had that really big drop-off. They've stayed pretty consistent throughout most of this season. A much more consistent team because of the fact that Connor Mcdavid and Leon Draisaitl have been that good. But they have had their issues. Obviously, in between the pipes, they have had some casualties. They've had goaltenders go down. They've had to call up guys like Stuart Skinner, maybe a little sooner than they'd like. And the Oilers have been a little bit of a mess in between the pipes, and that's been one of their kryptonites. Their defense has been pretty solid this season. Tyson Barrie has been very good. We've seen the emergence of guys like Ethan Bear. Darnell Nurse continues to be a solid defenseman. And we start to see the team start to turn a corner despite not having a guy like Oscar Klefbom in the lineup. The Edmonton Oilers don't seem to be hurting that much. So you have two teams in very different spots going into the playoffs here. But at the end of the day, here they are meeting up. And you look at the matchup this season, these two teams played each other 9 times. And it definitely was in favor of the guys in the orange and blue. 7-2 against the Winnipeg Jets this season. So the Edmonton Oilers won 7 of the 9 matchups between these two teams. So you could say it's pretty one-sided in that regard. Goals for this season. 34 goals for the Edmonton Oilers in this matchup. Only 22 goals this season here for the Winnipeg Jets in this matchup. This doesn't seem like a very good matchup for the Winnipeg Jets on paper. You look at Connor Mcdavid, he has 22 points in the 9 games between these two teams. 22 points. No, I didn't get that wrong. That's over 2 points a game in this matchup. He has 7 goals and 15 assists in 9 games against the Winnipeg Jets this season. On the other side, you have Nikolai Ehlers, who picked up 8 points in these 9 matchups, 3 goals and 5 assists, so not too bad there for Nikolai Ehlers, but obviously you could see there is a big difference in that regard. So looking at these two teams, it's hard to argue the Edmonton Oilers going into this series as the favorite. They are the favorite, and the fact that the Winnipeg Jets have fallen off the way they have, a lot of people out there are going to quickly point the Winnipeg Jets as a team that's going to be a quick out. And I don't agree with that either. So, my predictions for this series are the Edmonton Oilers win this one in 5 games. I like the Winnipeg Jets, but the way they've been playing recently, even with Laurent Brossoit and Connor Hellebuyck playing the way they are, the team is just not there this season. And I don't know what they're going to do in the offseason to fix some of those things, but the Winnipeg Jets cannot beat Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl right now. They are just too good. You know, combined for almost 200 points with the two of them together, I mean, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And the problem is the Winnipeg Jets don't have that guy. Yes, they have guys like Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, Pierre-Luc Dubois, but they don't have that Connor McDavid. Now, most teams in the league don't have that Connor McDavid as a player, but the depth of the Winnipeg Jets is very solid, but we've seen that kind of like a team like the New York Islanders where they're not super consistent. And you know for a fact that guys like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to show up every night for the Oilers. Yes, the bottom six might not show up as consistently, but their top guys show up every game. And we saw that throughout a 53 or 56 game schedule here for the Oilers. I think they're going to be the teams that win this series. And like I said, they seem to match up well, 7-2 in this series against the Jets. I'm going with the Oilers kind of being the team that, if there's going to be a sweep in this year's playoffs, it could be the Jets and the Oilers, because the Oilers have been so hot and the Jets have been not hot at all. And going into the postseason, it does matter a little bit of that momentum. The Jets do not have much of that going into this postseason. They are running into a train here in the Oilers. Going with the Oilers winning this one in 5 games. So guys, if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do already. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, leave your mock predictions in the comment section down below on how long you think this series will go and who wins this series. Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.